welcome back to Thief 2, The Metal Age. This is Mission 5, Eavesdropping. This is really the mission where the plot gets advanced quite a bit, so let's take a look at these objectives. So for the past few missions, we've been sort of dealing with Sheriff Truart, and this is the one where, as we saw in the last cutscene, the Keepers have given us a bit of a tip about the Sheriff meeting with somebody important tonight at the chapel here. We need to actually steal 1,200 in loot as well. Don't kill anyone. Get back to the front gates. There will be some more objectives added to this. We do, as usual, have a very detailed map of the Mechanist Seminary, which is identified also here as the Old Hammerite Cathedral. And this is where we're starting, kind of in the northwest. There's a lot of, not a lot, but there is some verticality in this mission. Sort of a surprising amount. And I think, you know, the design of this mission gets a bit of a short stick, at least in my opinion, because it falls in between two missions that I really love, that being Ambush that we just saw and the bank mission. So compared to those two, this one is, you know, a rather straightforward mission about breaking into a particular building, doing a few objectives. So we've got a few different levels to the maps. There's a sort of a maze-like catacomb lower section, although it has to be said this is it's not too large, right? Not too much to deal with. We will be going down here to try to get as much loot as we possibly can. And now, as I mentioned, this is the one where the story really starts to pick up. And just on that note, really briefly, I feel like I need to say a little bit, or I want to say a little bit about the story of Thief 2. It's sometimes said that you know, Thief 2 has a bad story, or maybe it's just in comparison to the first game, the story is weaker. And I've occasionally seen people to attempt to strengthen this argument to trot out the fact that apparently the developers came out and said that they designed the missions first. They had individual mission ideas, and then from those they sort of combined those together into a story, as though that somehow proves that the story is therefore worse than doing it any other way. But, like, I'm sorry, how else do you tell stories, right? Like, a lot of times people come up with cool ideas for stuff that they want to put in a story and find ways to connect them together. It's sort of like saying, well, the Beowulf poet was bad because he had a few different story ideas about a dragon fight and a troll fight, and he just combined them together. It's like, well, no, that's how some storytellers work. So, I just want to get that out of the way, because in my experience playing through Thief 2, I found the story on my first playthrough, and for a while thereafter, honestly, very compelling. And the characters, particularly Victoria, as we'll see in a later mission, just very interesting. And when I started to read online opinions about how the story was weak, I was, you know, kind of surprised. Now, that's not to say there are not flaws and, you know, problems of logic, but I think in a lot of cases those are mostly you know, to be laid at the feet of the protagonist himself, right? His failure to follow through, or maybe think of how things would work. But at any rate, I think the story for Thief 2 is fine. It does what it needs to do. And an end rant. Right, let's go back to the mission here. So we've got a guard up there. I think there's another one up there, or that may be empty. The main entrance there is, I think, possible to get through, but not my favorite way to go. Now you can get a rope arrow into the wood around these towers and just get up that way. But again, I think that's a little too risky.
I am a cog in the builder's gear. He hath conceived the world, and its workings are unimaginable. I am the vapor in the builder's steam. He hath breathed life into the world, and its vastness is unreal. Praise be to you.
Strange. I wonder what kind of work the mechanists do here.
Yeah. So here we've got the first servant, right? This is the first encounter with those. Bit of a secret down here.
I could really learn to hate these guys.
Determine what that was.
Now, obviously, these servants are very creepy. They are, at least at this stage of the game, harmless. There is some loot down here, but it's very hard to spot. There we go. So I think we're going to go with a moss arrow here. This is just a very loud area to get in and out of. Let's see if I put one up on the ceiling, it may drop down the way I want it to. And I don't think there's anything up there, but you can see in those tanks. That's what they're working on. So we'll get more about this plot as the story unfolds. But yeah, this is kind of what I mean. The story just kind of, evolves. A bit of a misstep there. Just naturally over the course of the events of the game, right? Initially we have just your basic thieving, and then we get a sense maybe by mission 3 or 4 that this is going to be about Garrett outwitting the bumbling, city cops, essentially. But no, it gets very, very dark after that point, and we get some new enemies.
Find the disturbance.
Okay.
Find the culprit.
Oh. Coming out after me. I think they'll give up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jeez. Very, very loud hammers that you can't get rid of. Alright, but I think that's it in here. Now, I can never remember exactly where that road goes. So we went this way. And we're getting close to the meeting hall. So we're close to where we need to be for that conversation, at least that objective. So maybe wise to just head there first. Because depending on what we hear at this meeting, we may need to move around the building in a different way. Okay, so this is a dead end. Alright, we're getting some hot ambient sound around here. Can never remember if this is the only loot. Here we go. Alright, so there's the meeting hall right here. We may as well give that a shot.
Better not disturb them. I can hear the meeting just fine from out here.
Behold, Sheriff Truitt, from the lowly street rat emerges the loyal worker, that which I call the servant.
This is one of the tramps I delivered to you? The transformation is spectacular.
And neither want nor worry has he.
Lucky fellow. Strange you should mention worries, Garrus, because I do have one. It's not that the money's not right, no, it's just that I need to be convinced you've taken the proper precautions. The Truitt name is untainted by scandal, and I will not be the one to bring it humiliation and ruin.
Trust thee in me, for 'tis the builder himself who guides me, and the Baron need never know.
Yes. I'm glad your builder guides you, but it would make me feel even more confident if you were to let me in on your whole scheme. Come now, what's the crux of it all, eh, Garrus? Show me what's so special about your new servants.
'Tis impossible to hide anything from you, good Sheriff. I will give thee full explanation then, in the form of a demonstration. The visual in this instance would far surpass any verbal elaborations I could relate, but I must ask thee to step away from the masked servant, that's right. And meanwhile I will retrieve our volunteer, a most unfortunate gutter snipe who waits just outside. Come, come, gentle beggar, and stand thee just there, next to the masked man. Yes. Now, all is in readiness, so keep thine eyes on the new arrival, whilst I signal the servant, thusly.
My word! The mask emits a red vapor!
Continue thy observations, Truitt.
But it consumes them! We are in peril!
Fear thee not, stout Sheriff, for we are safe at this distance. See, already the reaction ceases.
They are gone! And what remains in their stead? Sand? No. Rust.
Indeed, 'tis very much like rust, and harmless once settled. Brother Fegan, I pray thee, do sweep up what is left of those two.
Yes. A weapon, then! Quite fantastic and monstrous. Of course, you'll keep these servants you're making away from me and my men.
Thou need not even ask.
Then we are in agreement. You need subjects for your servant project, and I can supply them. Vagabonds, street scum, prostitutes, those who will not be missed by anyone of consequence. They'll be rounded up, charges invented, etc. Still, there's always risk. So I will give you 20, no more. For your part, you'll remember to keep our transactions absolutely secret. And of course, deliver my payment in advance, in full, tomorrow. I don't trust you, Garrus, so you'll receive the subjects only after I confirm the payment. Well, our business here is finished.
Yes. Very well, Truitt. Now see, friends, with the builder's efficiency, I have completed 2 tasks with but 1 effort. Firstly, I did secure 20 subjects to be transformed into servants, as you heard. And secondly, I secured the loyalty of the wary Sheriff Truitt. Yes, his loyalty. Truitt fears scandal. Yet his actions of late could bring him that or worse, if ever made public. Now, behold my wax cylinder machine. I've used it to capture the sheriff's very words, even as they moved through the air today. Hearken, friends.
And I can supply them. Vagabonds, street scum, prostitutes, those who will not be missed by anyone of consequence.
With his voice thus preserved, Truitt dare not betray me, or he'll have the scandal he fears so much. Brother Fegan, thou wilt see to it that this wax cylinder machine gets safely to the bank on the morrow. You will find the safety deposit box key in the shed atop the Acolyte's quarters. Friends, we are adjourned. Return now to your duties.
I'd like to get a copy of that key myself.
All right, very good. So this is sort of a an interesting way to forward the plot, right? It is of course an exposition dump, and so apologies for making you kind of sit through that. But it honestly didn't occur to me that was a sort of a problem until many years later after playing the game. But at any rate, we have our new objective here. So we have to get the deposit box key and make a copy of it. So we're not simply going to steal the key, because that would arouse suspicion. We're going to make a copy, return the key to its original location, and then get out of here. And the location of that key is something that can move around the map. Sometimes it can be in the various towers here. It can be in the pulpit. Sometimes, so actually we've got a kind of a blessing here. It's not very far from where we are, and we can get that key, get the copy made, and in and out fairly easily. So let's make that our next goal. So right up there. Remember if this is safe. Will do. We'll just head down here and we'll play it safe. We'll wait for her to come back out around.
Good, Cog, is that you?
Yeah, that would not have been good to wait by that chest.
The wind is restless this night.
So there's the shed. And again, as this is our first real Mechanist mission, I love that melody she hums. That's one of the few things I really like about being around the Mechanists. Sometimes they do have nice little bark lines, I guess. All right, here's our key.
I better come back here and replace this key when I'm done with it.
Right, so our next stop should be down to make a copy of it. Let's see, here's our storage shed. That's going to be down in the basement. I don't think we get any clues about exactly how that happens. You just need to explore and figure it out. But to get down to the basement, let's see. There's a workshop down here. Actually, we're also very close to that. We just kind of back down the way we came and down a set of stairs. Don't know that she comes back really close to this edge. She may. Yeah, that's where you want to go back towards the chest. Okay. So just to make sure we stay out of her line of view. She doesn't bump up against us. I'll get to the ladder here. In fact, we may as well head down and around to the left. Alright, so right in there. He's going to turn very shortly here. But there's a few other places we're going to go to find some loot, because we're about a third of the way there.
Attach thee not like thou denizens to my dreams.
Alright, I think I want to go now. Alright.
A pox upon it! Never shall I finish my design. The springs and gears conspire and confound me.
Calm, friend, calm. On the morrow, let me come by thy workbench and help thee untangle things.
I would be most grateful, couldst thou help?
'Tis nothing. Think on it as the copper and tin mingle to make the stronger bronze. So dost we each mingle and flow together in Karis's forge to make stronger as well.
What?
Oh!
Hide if you can, villain. Keep thy cogs
shadow
oiled, friend.
veils thee?
There's a thief about.
Okay.
Karis, forgive me, for I've lost track of the villain.
We'll just hang out here. They're having a bit of trouble getting under the stairs. Wow. I did not think they'd be that sensitive. I mean, obviously. Okay. I guess we'll put that out.
I shall sniff the...
Keep thy cogs oiled, friend. There's a thief about.
Alright, they may be back down, so... Now, if they do come back down, they may turn these lights on. That'll at least give us a bit of time here. Right. So this is into the catacombs here. I want that open just so I can run in there if it's an emergency. But here's the workshop area. And here's where we're going to get sort of a closer look at what the mechanists have been doing. So, some extra gear.
It's no big secret that the mechanists are the ones supplying Sheriff Truart with those machines.
And here we're going to get some information about the mechanical beasts, the Builder's Children. We haven't seen any yet, but we're about to. So basically this is giving us their weakness. Now, something I did not know for a very long time, these guys are actually blind. They can hear, but they can't see you until they have been alerted. Here's a decoy key. There's all sorts of these keys all over the level. Yeah, see, he's not going to be alerted at all. But that glowing area in the back is how you would disable him if you wanted to. Alright, so here we need to figure out how to make a key mold. So we gotta press the item into the wax, use the putty knife, and then that's it. Okay. Did he bump into me? No, but that was really close. Alright. We've got our new objectives now to bring the original key back, and now it's just a matter of finishing up our loot objectives. Alright, there's gonna be some buried treasure in here. Now, one of these routes is going to take us back up into the chapel. If we take a look here, yes, so we're very close to this part. And this one's not really a very safe way to emerge. You've got some mechanists around at the top, and some more of those mechanist or robots, essentially, patrolling. We will probably go in there at some point, but we want to do it sort of from a different angle. But there's another way back. We can go through kind of the long way back and get up on the outside grounds, which will put us close to where we need to drop the key. Yeah, there's the sort of the locked gate up, but I'm not going to worry about that one. This one's taking his time. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're gonna wait. I can't remember exactly which way he goes. So we'll just kind of hang out here for a little bit. I don't want to blunder into him. So now we're on a ladder, and these things can be a bit tricky. Even with the sort of the mod and the patch and so on, I still have a hard time getting off of ladders, especially that are set up like this, where I have to do a little bit of a jump or maybe a mantle. So there's nothing above me. I think I'd be able to mantle onto this. Okay. I've definitely died a few times in this mission trying to get off ladders in the towers, so out front. So I'm glad that the key was not located in either of those. Oh, are we locked in? Oh, is this just a... It's not even a locked door. Okay. Alright. Oh, they're waiting for a conversation down there. So, if we take a look, because I didn't go to the west at the beginning of the mission, I never triggered that conversation. There's a couple of mechanists, and there is the large blue thing you see is one of those children of Karis. The Builder's children. So... if we get close, that will get them out into the world, which is, you know, not great, but we may not be able to avoid it, really. Okay, but here we are. We can put the key right back. See if I can mantle here. Alright, key has to go back. Great. Now it's just a matter of getting loot, and the problem is we've got a couple of guards who are in sort of the central stairwell area to the workshop that are now alerted, and I don't know exactly where they go. After that, they may just be anywhere on the grounds, and because I've already woken them up, so to speak, they're probably going to be a little more touchy, so I have to be kind of careful here. I do want to get into this central part, so we'll wait for her to move out of the way and then try our luck. Where are you going? Right at me? Okay. Okay. There's another decoy key. Not a decoy, but just there's lots of keys that don't work for the safety deposit box. Alright, we're at 1200. This may, whoop. This may be a mission where we kind of call it while we're ahead. So these seem to be Karras's quarters for when he's here. I don't know if there's any loot up here. No, just stuff. Okay. So the only thing now we're doing is deciding, do we want, I'll get up here just in case anyone comes in, but do we want to try for more loot, given the risk? Because the next mission, we're really, I think, gonna benefit from it, from being able to make as many purchases as we can. Alright, they figured it out. This might be a good time to try to duck around. Okay, now.
My eardrums do tap much.
What's that there?
Oh. Jeez, I didn't know there was someone right there. Right, but she's gonna turn. Turn around, turn around, turn around. Or maybe not. There we go. Okay. Okay. Maybe something down here as well. Let's make life a little easier.
What? Hello?
Yeah, there's a purse right there. Alright, I think there's also some loot up high, but these are the ladders I'm talking about. These are just absolute death. You get up there, and then you need to make a jump, and you're not close enough to just mantle onto the sides, I don't think. We'll have something similar if we try to get up this way, but I think if we instead just go down, get that piece of loot, then we can get out without having to worry about this. I don't think anyone comes in here. See the guard right there. I know there's one up high. Oh, someone literally right there. And there's some candles up ahead on the altar. And someone right there. Okay, this is actually rather bad. Maybe.
Did that shadow move?
There's a bit of a shadow right ahead of me. Just wondering if he's slow enough. Could try going up the stairs, but you never know if there's going to be someone going you know, just coming out of the Karis's quarters area.
In truth, I know not what it was.
Alright, and she's going to be looking. Let's see, how far can I throw this thing? Alright. She's facing my direction. Right, now she's turned away. Let's go for a moss arrow right about here. And
Hello? Someone there?
okay,
I
she's
promise thee a goodly fight. Now come forth.
alright, hopefully she won't follow me down here. We've got another guard right there.
Huh? Is that thee?
Alright, they don't come in this door usually. Now again, I think there's some loot up at the top of this tower, but I don't feel like trying for it. She turns away. I think I'm going to try my luck moving behind this guard.
If someone be there, then bespeak thyself. Nothing there. 'Twas but a rancorous wind, sent to trouble my watch.
Okay. So back here, what else to do now? If you look at the map, I mean, we left some loot at the top of the towers. There's the pulpit area. There are the acolytes' quarters, and there's a little bit of stuff here. Since we're going back this way, I guess we could give that a shot, because I do want to head back in that direction.
I am diligent. 'Twas the builder that made me so. I am tireless. 'Twas the builder.
Now, these are the people who we have alerted before. Ah. Okay. Didn't jump at that. Thing up here. So we got some recruiting going on. Another key possibility. Alright, and some of these, if I remember correctly, are just junk. Yeah, like that. So I kind of want to wait. Alright, that's just another way to the meeting hall, essentially. Now, I could head down here. This gets us towards the altar. Since we haven't woken up those other two mechanists, might actually be possible to do this. No. Well, let's see. Does this turn the lights on or off? Okay, on. So, if I still had that invisibility potion, I could use it and get over there. And right at the base of inside the altar, or the podium there, there is a key. Sometimes the key is right there. It does make it a little tricky. But I don't feel like risking getting caught at this point, so we'll just head back around. I don't think there's any loot in here, but these are relatively safe places to hang out. Okay. I think she turned. Alright, now we're kind of where we started, or near where. Here's where we found that servant and the experiments. Very close now to the starting point. Alright, so we've completed the objectives. In terms of loot, we left a fair amount behind, about 500. Secrets, we found just the one secret. But otherwise, yeah, most of the loot is going to be in those towers, I'd say, and around the altar, of course. So definitely some stuff we left behind. But I'm happy to have not had to reload here. Again, you know, playing this in the relatively recent past, those tower ladders have just screwed me over. So I'm always rather paranoid about them. So just going to leave those alone and see what the next mission has for us.
I'm not surprised that the mechanists aren't the saints they claim to be. No one in this city is. But at least they've done me the favor of recording the incriminating meeting they had with Sheriff Truart. That recording should let me exert a little pressure on Truart to find out who hired him to kill me. But I'll have to acquire it first. The mechanists put the recording in a safety deposit box earlier today, but since I have a copy of the key, I should be able to open it. It didn't take much to learn that the mechanists do all their banking with First City Bank and Trust, one of the wealthiest establishments in town, catering to the financial needs of the city's upper crust. The bank vault is a huge tower, and I'm sure the safety deposit boxes are inside. Once inside the bank, I'll visit the Hall of Records and do a little snooping to find out which box belongs to the mechanists. Then I'll need to find a way to get inside the vault itself, grab the recording, and get out. No doubt the bank is well protected by mechanist security machines, in addition to the usual guard contingent. Risky, But you know, I've always wanted a good enough excuse to break into First City Bank and Trust. But I always thought I'd be taking the risk just for the money.
And indeed, conspicuously absent here is any kind of loot requirement, which I probably thought was an oversight at first, but recently I'm thinking it's just more of a hilarious nod. I mean, yeah, don't bother. It's a bank, right? Just grab whatever you feel like. So break into the bank. We need to find the Hall of Records to get the number for the security deposit box, then get into the vault. There's going to be some additional objectives or moving around to accomplish that part of the objective, and then get out of here, and then don't kill anyone. Now, this is not a mechanist-focused mission. However, there are going to be some more of those mechanist beasts, the Children of Karis, as well as, of course, security devices. So that makes this very interesting and varied in terms of challenge. This is, of course, also a huge mission. If you've not played the game before, this one it's like 3 levels with a basement, there's a roof, there's just so many options in terms of how to approach it, that this is likely to be a fairly lengthy episode when we get to it. So we'll see how much our extra cash helps us. We're going to get the tip, as usual, only 25 for this, so why not? We've got 3 flash bombs. That seems like enough, I want to say. I mean, there are guards, but I think the things that I'm going to be more concerned about will be the iron beasts. So, with that in mind, maybe a healing potion would be good. There's definitely opportunity for us to screw up here. We've got 8 moss arrows already. That's very nice. 8 water arrows. That's decent. Let's round it up to 10 at least. I'm not going to bother with flares or fire arrows or broadheads. We got 20 and 2. We've got some noisemaker arrows. That's also good. I guess let's go for 2 more moss. Let's get a 4th flash bomb just in case. I'm not going to bother with mines just because there's other ways to shut down the security stuff. You don't need to destroy it. And geez, I really think 10 moss arrows is plenty. And this is probably also a bit overkill, so let's go with yeah, let's do those, and I guess we'll call that good. First City Bank and Trust. Looking forward to it. See you in the next episode.